Hello happy people, Jean here, and today I'll be taking a closer look at the LEGO Spider-Man sets that came out in August. The Iron Spider-Man bust, Spider-Man vs. Doc Ock subway train station scene, Peter Parker's apartment building, and Spider-Man vs. Oscorp. I'm hoping this change of scenery isn't too distracting. I figured I'm talking about Spider-Man, I should be surrounded by Marvel stuff. I'm in what you call the upstairs living room or game room, and you can see it in my Star Wars room tour on my page. You may also see occasionally a dog moving around because that's what dogs do. Before I get started with this review, thanks so much to the LEGO group for sending these LEGO sets over to me for free in exchange for a review. As always, all thoughts and opinions are my own. If you decide to purchase any of these LEGO sets, I have affiliate links down below in my description. Using those links throws a few bucks my way for your purchase and helps to support my channel. Plus, I really appreciate it. Onwards, let's take a look at the LEGO Iron Spider-Man bust. This LEGO set is 379 pieces and retails for $59.99 USD. This LEGO set is the second in the new line of collectible LEGO sets to the 18+ line, the Bust Collection, following the Iron Man Mark IV from the summer. So we've seen LEGO helmets and masks in the Marvel line, also the gauntlets and even a midi-scale ship in the Marvel 18+ line. Now there will be superhero busts in the scale. These superhero busts so far include a uniform-looking stand with a printed nameplate. This LEGO set also comes with a brand new Iron Spider-Man minifigure that is so far exclusive to this set. He's got dual molded legs, excellent printing throughout the front and back torso, and he gets arm deco as well. So including a minifigure is awesome because that's something that the helmets and the midi-scale ships don't have that I feel like people were constantly asking for. So it's pretty cool that they're seemingly listening to feedback in that sense and including a minifigure here. You have the option to display this minifigure on the stand if you want, or there's an alternate build instruction if you don't want to display the minifigure with the build. I chose to have it with the minifigure because honestly, that was probably my main gripe with the LEGO Star Wars helmets, is that I wish they did come with minifigures. As for the Iron Spider build itself, Iron Spider only has two of the legs on the back and a rotating head. The legs can be posed in various different ways, but that's about all you get in terms of posability here. I love that this LEGO set has no stickers, so these prints on the top, on the face, the eyes, and even the center chest piece are all printed parts. Overall, I'm a big fan of this LEGO set. I'm a big fan of the Bust Collection. This is definitely a line that was made for me, and people like me who prefer to have their LEGO pieces on a display shelf, like looking really nice and aesthetic kind of thing. And I can see this appealing to a more casual adult fan of LEGO who maybe doesn't buy a whole lot of LEGO, who doesn't have like entire rooms filled with it and just wants to put something on his desk to say, hey, I'm a Spider-Man fan. Here's a look at it next to the Iron Man bust from this summer. They do look awesome, but unfortunately, I can't recommend these at the retail price. Both of them are like 400 pieces, give or take some, and at $60, that's just insane. Like, this looks to me like a $40 LEGO set at best. Moving on to the Spider-Man versus Doc Ock subway train scene. This LEGO set is 393 pieces and retails for $54.99 USD. It comes with 4 minifigures, Aunt May and J. Jonah Jameson for some reason, probably because randoms on the train aren't recognizable. Aunt May has a gray sweater. I imagine this isn't a new torso or anything, so probably just a bunch of reused parts for her. J. Jonah Jameson in a blue suit. I actually really like the look of this J. Jonah Jameson minifigure compared to the previous minifigure versions of him. This Spider-Man minifigure with dual molded legs, but he doesn't get any arm printing. He also has a battle damaged torso and an alternate head and hair look. And of course, there's Doc Ock in what might be the best Doc Ock build yet for his mechanical tentacles. I think they look really great and they're excellent for posing them on the train, which we'll look at in a second. And of course, here's a look at him without those on, just sweet old Dr. Otto Octavius. On the train, these top panels are both just sitting on 4 studs, so they're easily removable if you want to place J. Jonah Jameson and Aunt May in there and pretend they were in the scene. You can attach Peter at the front here, holding on to the 2 webs on the sides. I think this is sick, actually. And you can attach Doc Ock to the top of the train too. I love all the different ways you can attach him to the train with these tentacles, either on the studs or on these bars on the sides. There's also several transparent clear accessories throughout this set, and they are attached throughout the train for you to place webbing on them. And there's also a few dark tan Lego bricks and pieces attached to them to show debris flying around. It's funny, so these little bars that I just pointed out earlier here where you can attach a minifigure, the box has an image of Aunt May hanging on for dear life with a cheeky grin on her face. I just thought that was so funny. Here on this back window on the left side and the front window on the right side, you can see a couple of broken window sticker details, some round sticker details for the logo, a sticker detail on the front and back of the train that says Bay Ridge for the Bay Ridge subway train station, and then 2 sticker details on the inside, I think, for the control panels for the train. Obviously, the train does have wheels, so here's a small chunk of train track from the Harry Potter Hogsmeade Station Lego set from 2023, just to show you how it fits on them, so do with that what you will. I'm not a Lego train person, so I don't know if this is like the standard Lego train track size or what, but it fits on that one. This is a really cute set that surprisingly has a lot going on it for like its size, but as is the theme with most of these Marvel sets, I feel like it's about $15 overpriced. This isn't a Lego set I would get, but I can see a lot of people wanting this one because of the nostalgia factor. After all, these are the Spider-Man movies that I grew up with. They're just personally not my favorite ones. Next, we'll take a look at the 2 sets that are part of this new little LEGO Marvel Mini Modulars series, starting with Peter Parker's apartment. This Lego set is 394 pieces and retails for $54.99 USD. This set has 4 minifigures. Spider-Man, which is the same Spidey we've seen the last few years without dual molded legs, but with the arm printing. A cute accessory they gave for him is this side build of a spider bot. That's a sticker detail on the spider bot. He does get the alternate head of Peter Parker, but they didn't give him like an alternate Peter Parker body, which I feel like was a missed opportunity here considering this is Peter Parker's apartment. Just could have made the $55 price tag a little easier to swallow. Mary Jane, so this is a new Mary Jane minifigure, but there is nothing new or exclusive about her because all of these are parts from other existing minifigures. Anti-Venom, which is a minifigure that we saw for the first time earlier this year. It's the exact same one. And Hobgoblin, this is a new Hobgoblin. We haven't seen this character in a minifigure since 2016. He's got one of those new rubber capes. I'm a big fan of those. And he comes with this glider. There's a sticker detail at the front of the glider. He also comes with a couple of pumpkin bombs, which the pumpkin bombs are getting some chatter all on their own due to the fact that the flaming hair on them is removable. Ghost Rider when? Then there's also all these extra web accessories throughout. Looking at Peter Parker's apartment, this building consists of 2 floors. On the exterior, on the side of the building, there's a Daily Bugle ad and there's webbing thrown over J. Jonah Jameson's mouth. On the front, you can see a door. The apartment number is 410, a nod to Peter's address in the comments, 410 Chelsea. There's a couple of ledges with plants. I actually really love those details. And on the top, you can find a grill, which I will show you what to do with that later. Taking a look inside, the first floor is the dining and kitchenette area. There's a pizza box on the counter. The second floor has a little lab, his home office with the microscope on the desk. You can actually use that desk underneath because it's a crate. So if you wanted to store Peter's extra head and wig piece in there, you can. Then there's his computer desk, which has his trusty camera. There's a sticker detail of the Daily Bugle front page on the monitor. And then right next to that, there is a sticker detail of a sketch of Iron Spider. Pulling that area down actually reveals Peter's bed, so he can sleep in this little room too. There's also a few other sticker details with nods and Easter eggs on the wall. My favorite one is the Oscorp building one. There is also this Technic part sticking out the back side of the apartment building, and if you turn it, it creates a partial collapse of this top part of the building. I'll go into the combinable feature of this Lego set later after we look at the Oscorp set, but just know that my initial reaction to this set was kind of like, that's it? Because it's just kind of sitting here. There's no plates for like a sidewalk section the way that there is one for the Miles Morales bodega from earlier this year or the Oscorp building, which we're about to look at. But I was pleasantly surprised by this set. Still, for $55, I think that's too much for, it's not even a 400-piece set. Especially if you're going to be combining all of the Marvel Mini Modulars, it's going to add up. Now let's take a look at the LEGO Spider-Man versus Oscorp Lego set. This Lego set has 808 pieces and retails for $139.99 USD. This Lego set has a whopping 8 minifigures. We have repeat minifigures for Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Ghost Spider, and Spider-Woman. And actually, she's technically with a bit of a downgrade from the one with dual molded legs from earlier this year. We get new/updated minifigures for Norman Osborn. Although none of these parts are exclusive or new, you can find them in other minifigures. Kraven the Hunter, a bit of an update for sure, but I wouldn't know that I would call this an upgrade from the previous version that had the cool leopard or animal print pants. Green Goblin, who is a brand new minifigure, and this outfit is actually based on the Ultimates universe from the comics, which creates a little bit of inconsistency within the lore of this set because this version of Green Goblin is supposed to be Harry Osborn, but the box shows a play feature that shows Norman turning into the Green Goblin. And then finally, for the first time ever, an Eddie Brock minifigure, although again, none of the parts for Eddie are actually exclusive or new. You can find them in other characters. I do love the attachment on his back to have the Venom symbiote head floating beside him. This looks so cool. There's also web accessories included for all of our spider people, my favorite of which has been this recent addition of this big web piece made mainly because one of these can wrap up your villain, or two of these can also be hooked together to make a larger web trap. This set also comes with a glider accessory for Green Goblin. All three of those are sticker details. And then a motorcycle for Miles that has two stud shooters on the side, and that is another sticker detail in the front of that. Now let's take a look at this little Oscorp block of buildings. First, there's the Mini Mart building with the street corner side build. The Mini Mart sign is a sticker detail, and on the exterior, I love the inclusion of this little camera that's supposed to be webbed up, I think for Peter to send the photos into the Daily Bugle. The first floor shows a cash register and a few items on the shelves. The second floor shows a computer on a desk, a dartboard on the wall with a sticker detail that's a Spider-Man photo in the center, and then there's a chicken. The monitor on the computer also gives you a few clues as to who this apartment belongs to. So this is obviously Eddie Brock's apartment. Pretty standard apartment size for a New York apartment. Outside the Mini Mart in another sort of modular setup is this side build with the iconic yellow garbage bin. A stack of newspapers outside of that with the headline from the Bugle, Spider-Man No More, which is a nod to the Spider-Man Tobey Maguire movies. And then there's a traffic light build. Next is the Marvelous Jewelry Shop. It's a two-story building. Out in the exterior, there's a stack of newspapers with another Tobey Maguire Spider-Man trilogy headline reference, Who is Spider-Man? The 1964 and the Marvelous Jewelry signs are stickers. Inside the first floor, we can see a jewel under a dome, and then the second area where there would have been a second dome, but there is now broken glass, presumably because Craven succeeded in his heist. If you push on this red lever on the outside of this floor of the building, the front window actually pops outward and creates a little break-in scene. The second floor of this building, I don't know if it's supposed to be Miles' apartment, I think it is, but there's some paint cans in here and then a painting or drawing of Miles. There's a bed so someone can sleep here, and there is also another Technic piece right outside of this floor that opens a sort of trap door into the ceiling, which I think references Gwen and Miles from the Spider-Verse movies. Now let's take a look at the Oscorp building. I love the look of it, but I also just love green, so I'm a little bit biased there. There's also a sliding door on the front first floor. I love that detail. There's a Green Goblin override sticker detail outside the second floor. And then of course the Oscorp logo, which is such a bummer that this large logo is a sticker and not printed. But that said, I do like how it looks either way. And topping off the building is a rotating antenna, which we'll look at again in a few moments. Also, this section up top, you can place Spidey up here and knock him over so he starts swinging. Just generally a fun play feature. Let's look inside the building. The first floor of the building is pretty plain. There's a reception area and really not much else going on. The second floor is where things start to get cool. There's a spider on a lab desk and a microscope. And then this black squiggly Lego piece, which is a nod to Venom, confirmed by the symbiote sticker right next to it. Then there's a little fridge underneath with a syringe in it or something. Right in the center of this floor, there's this red Technic Lego part that can be pushed to knock the window out. Just another cool play feature to emulate a breakout. The third floor is some Green Goblin going-ons. There's a pumpkin bomb on the desk over here, and then a clip here where you can actually place Goblin's glider. Finally, the top floor has the Goblin Transformation Lab, which again creates just a little bit of inconsistency within the lore of this set and the universe this is set in, because this Green Goblin is technically Harry Osborn and Norman isn't alive in the Ultimates current run of the comics, but for the purposes of this LEGO universe, I suppose it's fine since there are a lot of references to many of these Spider-Man universes throughout. Which brings me through the third newspaper headline in this room, another nod to the Tobey trilogy, Time's Scare. And that wraps up this set, which brings me to the fun part. If you got the Miles Morales vs. the Spot LEGO set from earlier this year, the little bodega corner, you can attach it to the end of this block, like so. And since that section does have a sidewalk, you can attach Peter Parker's apartment building right on top of that. As far as the floating second floor door, remember that grill from the top of Peter's apartment building? You can place that here instead to transform it into a sort of balcony. I've seen all sorts of criticisms about why the apartment number wouldn't be on the outside of the second floor and how a balcony door just wouldn't be realistic there. And for this, I have to beg these people to be for real here and suspend some disbelief, because this is, after all, a toy meant for children to play with. I have no doubt in my mind that this is gonna make perfect sense to a kid that's just playing with this. So just use your imagination. Another suggestion I've seen by others is to place Peter's apartment above the Marvelous Jewelry store and then placing putting that Miles and Gwen room above the bodega. So that way that ties that section together to Miles better. But honestly, again, this is a toy. Just use your imagination. Play around with this. There's so many different sections you can arrange this in. I actually really love the concept of this. It reminds me of the LEGO Harry Potter sets, the Diagon Alley, that are being released separately, also in a more shelf-friendly display way. Anyways, but back to the Oscorp, I actually feel like this packs a lot of value for the punch, especially when you compare the two recent LEGO Star Wars sets that were 800 pieces and were $160. This is around 800 pieces and is $140. While it's still overpriced by about $20, again, I just think the value is here more so than in the LEGO Star Wars sets. I'm rarely, if ever, going to recommend that somebody buy a LEGO set at retail price because almost always every single LEGO set ends up going on sale. And so that's the same suggestion I have for this set, for all of these sets really. Because especially if you do plan to complete the Marvel Mini Modulars, this is $110 right here. And this doesn't feel like $110 if I'm being quite real. That's it for a review of the Spider-Man August sets. If you've made it this far, please hit that thumbs up button. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you here. Okay, bye!